Hello everyone, welcome to Legacy IAS. So in this video, we'll be discussing the general trend with respect to science and technology prelims questions. Okay, how the numbers have evolved and what should be done about it. Okay, now let's get started. So first thing that you see here is this graph. This is the number of questions starting from 2015 to 2026. Okay, now if you see here, the number of questions are like 10, then 13, then 10, 12, 15, 13, 15, like that. Okay, so it kept on going like this. Now, suddenly, can you see here 19 questions? This. Can you see here? Now, in 2026, for some reason, they fell in love with science or anything. They gave 19 questions from this subject itself. Now, this is not something that I'm claiming that this is the new pattern and now they will give so many questions of science and tech every time. But the thing is that if you look at these questions, most of them were actually doable. Like at least 10 to 12 questions you could have done if you have prepared the subject well. It was made in such a way. And that makes this very important. Okay, now let's see this. So main takeaways if you want to see from that graph is, if you want to calculate, let's say, average weightage, what you can see here is science and technology. I took average of all the questions that have come from 2015 to 2026. The average came out to be approximately 12.8 questions per year. Now, yeah, so 12.8 questions on an average came from this. Now, if you see consistently, the importance has been all of them. If you see the entire table, all of these is filled with numbers that are of two digits. So at least 10 questions have come. Now, suddenly in 2026, there were 19 questions, but otherwise, you can expect like 12 to 13 questions. This is the normal way that you feel from the graph, and this is what the average is also telling you. Now, so 11 out of 11, 12 years, always you will get 10 to 15. In that also 12, 13 questions is the normal one. In 2026, it was the highest ever weightage that you saw. This was around 19 questions. Now, if there were 100 questions, this is like 19% of the paper. That is why it became a huge deciding factor. Now, science and tech questions have not dropped significantly like any year. They got 4 questions, 5 questions. At least from 2015, it has not dropped. Okay. Now, if you understand all of this, then how we should go about this subject is the next thing that we have to see. Now, see, there are few parts to it. The first part is, of course, building the basics. Basics is very important. You can build it from any source, okay, but you must build some strong basics. That is this. Very important. Okay, you can do it using NCERTs, you can do it using any notes. It is available everywhere. Okay, but at least the basics of things, like the very basic thing, now they have given an NCERT also, like what is a satellite, what is a launch vehicle, correct? The new NCERTs, if you see, they have defined all these. Okay, very basic of how day and night occurs, revolution, rotation of earth, those basic things, correct? Then what are different kinds of animals, okay, how do they survive, basics of diseases, what are the nutrients that you require in your food, all these are given in NCERT and also covered everywhere. So this you should work on first. Okay, don't try to just manage science and tech somehow. If you do it well, if you build the strong basics, you will realize that you can do a lot of questions from that only. You may not have read them directly in current affairs, but you can make those connections and get them right. Then the next thing is, you should be prioritizing current affairs. Why? Because you will find that after you have done the basics, now some questions will be from the basic itself, like nuclear energy we learn in detail, correct? Nuclear fission, fusion, basic reactions, what are the different parts of reactors, all that we learn, correct? So now if you see the statements in science and tech, what they do, one or two of the statements, they will be from the static portion that we already know, or every year everyone has to study them, but they will always add one or two statements from the current affairs part of it. So they will ask you, let's say, about nuclear fission. So they will ask you that which of like these and these are fertile and fissile material. So this is something that you already know. Now they will also put one of the statement about small modular reactors, which is a focus from budget 25. So government has talked about this. Government has also came up with Shanti bill for nuclear energy generation even by the private sector, correct? So all those things are also given in one or two statements. That is why it is a mix of both. So of course, building strong basics is important, but equally important is what? That you also prioritize current affairs, because one of the statements, key statements, will come from that only. Then there are also direct questions from basics as well as direct questions from current affairs both. Now, next is understand concept, not the technical details. Okay, technical details are not that important. What is more important is the application part. Technical details, of course, you need to know to really understand it, correct? And that much only you have to go. You need not go too much in detail of how exactly this works. Like if you just understand that fast tag works on RFID technology, okay, radio frequency identification, then you need not study about all different systems that work here, okay, all different kinds of electromagnetic radiations then that can do the same work. That is too much in detail. Just knowing this is fast tech, this is the technology which on which it works, and basic about that technology, that much is enough. Okay, if you don't understand all different kinds of RFID, it won't be that bad for you. But if you don't know that FASTag works on RFID, that is a bigger problem. That is why you have to study more application wise, because that is how they frame questions. Okay, then there are some high yielding topics that have questions every time, like space, biotech, correct? Emerging technologies, information and communication technologies. Okay, so these are some important chapters from which you will see questions all the time, correct? So these you should prepare more. Like energy is a very important topic now, okay, because the world is revolving around energy right now, from international relations to environment to science and tech to even economy. So energy based questions are very important, so those you have to focus on. Now this I cannot emphasize enough, that is practicing PYQs and MCQs regularly. Good quality MCQs and PYQs of all the years from 2013 to 2026. You should almost remember all the PYQs. By remember, I don't mean that I ask you that what was the sixth question in 2014 that you are able to tell. But if you see the question, then you should be knowing that this was this question, this statement was wrong because of this reason, and these are the concepts that I must know from it. Okay, like for all the PYQs, if you want, so for all the PYQs, this is a channel. This is my Telegram channel. In this, you will find all the PYQs that I have solved, and I have given audio solutions to it. Okay. Also, one more thing you can refer is that you can go to the Legacy IAS website. There also you can find PYQs. Okay. Of mains also. So you can find PYQs here. And if you want the solutions, the audio solutions and everything, and the current affairs, then you can go on this Telegram channel where you will get all those details of science. Okay, now once you have built the basics, once you have done the current affairs, then there is nothing in this subject except for one more thing that is required, okay, that you may miss out but is very, very, very important, and that is your MCQ aptitude. That is a very important skill. MCQ aptitude is what? Basically, how you approach questions. Okay, if your approach is right, okay, and you have done the basics and you have done the current affairs, you can do very good in this subject irrespective of your background. Your background does not matter here at all. Okay, believe me, there are very limited topics from which they focus and ask questions. Okay, so if you do them well, all these three aspects of it, you will do good in science and tech. Don't worry that I don't come from science background, this that. Okay, many people don't come from science background, they do much better from people who do come from it. Correct. So just focus on these three things and you will do very good in science and tech, and have that positive approach that if I do all these, I will get good marks in science and tech. Okay, hope you understood some things from this video. That's it. Thank you.